Guys, welcome to the first episode of Matt's House of Horrors Grindhouse. So, this is a new series where we can unleash our inner darkness. By inner darkness, I mean our interest in creepy things and, these really creepy events and things maybe that you probably didn't think were that creepy until now, but so yeah, and I'm going to use my tablet camera to shoot this because I kind of want it to be a little poor quality. Because if you ever seen a Grindhouse movie, they usually shoot them in like the poorest quality. So yeah, I thought because a tablet to me kind of doesn't show that great quality that like the GoPro or my phone or my iPod Touch. But yeah, I thought it would be great to use it to because like I said, usually in Grindhouse movies the quality is very terrible. So, without further ado, here's our first episode of Grindhouse. We're gonna start this episode a little easier because there's a lot of things that are gonna be discussed in this show. So why not we just start with something a little on the easier side, something that we probably all see a lot, and then in next week's episode, we'll do something a little more, like a little more disturbing or something like that. So today, I have a plethora of movies that, in my opinion, I think lots of people should give a second watch to it. Mostly, they're all horror movies. And, either they didn't get critical praise, but they got audience praise, or they got critical praise, but they didn't get audience praise, or it is going to get praise by either side. So, here with me today are my top horror movies that you should give another chance. Number 1 is Krampus. I feel that Krampus deserves another chance because reason why, even though it was critically acclaimed, audiences were divided. Half of the audiences we have liked it, including myself. The other half totally hated it, saying it was garbage, unoriginal, and very unfunny. Which, yeah, at the end it started to get serious, but that I thought that was really cool because instead of being like, oh, we're gonna be a cheesy comedy, and or like the movies were like, oh, they're meant to be serious, but then by the end they started to get funny and ridiculous. Instead it was reverse. It was meant to be funny, but by the end it started to get more serious and less funny and everything, which I thought was cool. So, yeah, it's a good movie though. This time, great effects, great acting, great directing, and really good characters, and a very good and original story. So, lots of the audiences on the loser-hater side of the film apparently call themselves Krampus experts, say that they didn't like how Krampus was turned into an anti-Santa Claus, actually needed help from fellow demons. Because the legend of Krampus is that he works alone and he's not even related at all to Santa Claus, doesn't wear a mask or anything, and and he works alone, like I just said, with no need of help whatsoever. That's why they hate it. Let me just tell you that, did you see what other genre besides horror and thriller it was? That's right, it was meant to be a horror comedy. And usually, what I thought in comedies was that either they don't take the topics they're like the movie's about, they don't take it seriously, or they like make, I guess you can say, kind of make fun of it in a way. Most of them not taking it seriously. And so, of course, they were going to not take the Legend of Krampus seriously when making a comedy. So, yeah, that's really not a good reason to hate it. So, yeah, I really do recommend Krampus. It's a really cool film. It made me laugh, and then it got serious, and was really cool. It was also a very cool theater experience. So, I recommend Krampus. Number 2 is The Happening. Next movie, everybody just hated it for some reason. Like, okay, there are little audience members like me and my parents who actually enjoyed it, but then the rest of the world hated it. Reason why I picked The Happening, again, the rest of the world hated it, but I thought, yeah, the acting gets a little iffy, and the story is just it's bizarre. But when have we not seen a bizarre like story? And is like, look at all the indie movies, like the indie horror movies we're getting, like Green Room, The Babadook, The Witch. If you look at a lot of those who are like getting critically received, they have just a weirder story than The Happening. Okay, it's like The Babadook, some weird creature from a pop-up storybook of all things, is literally haunting like a, I don't know if you say dysfunctional family, because it's just the son and the mother. But like, I mean, the film's still awesome. I really love The Babadook, but that's a really weird story. It's weirder than plants and unleashing a toxin that makes people want to kill themselves. That's like, I don't know. I say the story behind The Babadook is much weirder and more bizarre and everything than the story from The Happening. But in horror movies, don't we look for original stories? When was the last time about that there was a story about plants unleashing this kind of toxin on people? So, like I said, the acting, it's iffy, but it's still a good movie, I think. I really think it should have a wider audience, because look at all the movies that are getting underappreciated today, and all of a sudden they become cult classics. This one's almost becoming a cult classic, or being like either one of those so bad it's good movies, or just people just think it's good. It's actually becoming a cult classic now. So, yeah, I recommend M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. Oh yeah, another thing I want to say. Why? I just don't understand why everyone hates M. Night Shyamalan. There's only some like bad movies he's made. Mostly The Last Airbender. If that's why you hate him, don't. I mean, like, it's really stupid if you hate a director who made so many good movies only because, a few of his movies were so terrible or something like that. Like, I just don't know why. So, yeah. Like I said, I really recommend The Happening. Number 3 is As Above, So Below. Another movie that has divided audiences. So, the story behind this one is that it's about the Paris catacombs. It's a found footage movie, which is like one of the main reasons why everybody hates it. Because apparently, if it's something a found footage movie, then apparently people like this have this vendetta against it, and I think it's actually kind of stupid, actually, because like, why? I mean, why have this vendetta against it? I mean, against the movie? It's because, it's a found footage movie. Oh, that means it's gonna be terrible, because I mean, it might not be. It might not be a bad movie. Trust me. It might be a really good movie. But, I don't know. But actually, some critics actually liked it. Like Mark, from one of my favorite critics of all time, they're called Schmoes Know. and they're probably the least biased movie critics you can find today, because apparently every movie critic now has to be biased, and that's why everybody mostly hates them. They're the least biased ones you'll find today. So they're like, so I guess you can say unbiased, that they literally will tell you, even if they hate the movie, they'll tell you you should just go watch the movie for yourself and, have your own opinion. Don't take, like, they say, like, don't take ours. Go see the movie for yourself. And which I think is cool. So, like I said, has a lot of people divided, mostly for the main fact that that's a found footage movie. Apparently, that's why a lot of found footage movies are underrated, because, like, it's people don't like the shaky camera thing. So, yeah. But I think you guys should recommend As Above, So Below. I think it was really cool, and I think it deserves a wider audience. Number 4 is Unfriended. The reason why Unfriended is on this list, not only was it critically received, it was also liked by audiences. But again, half of the audiences hated it because they thought it was too unoriginal, even though it wasn't. When have we seen a story where like a girl spirit used technology to kill people over a Skype call? And then people say, oh, if you were like, the one thing that I heard someone in a video say that pissed me off the most was like, if you're so disappointed with Unfriended, there's another movie called The Den, which I watched it in, and I thought that was pretty disappointing. And then I watched Unfriended, and I thought Unfriended was way better, had better acting, had better quality, and had a more original story. The Den has a story we've seen a lot of times, like, the Skype call, and the killer comes in the house and, like, kidnaps somebody. Oh, boo-hoo. Unfriended its story has, like, a ghost possesses technology. So, yeah, that's why I think Unfriended deserves a little more, love, because, don't watch this Den movie. I mean, if you want to, you can. I'm not going to stop you, but I recommend Unfriended way more than I do with The Den. Number 5, Sinister 2. So this movie, I don't know if it had the audiences divided or not. Lots of audiences hated it, but then there are some audiences, like the one who was in the theater, I guess, the night I saw it, were like, they were all like talking about how scary it was, how awesome it was, and so, yeah. I thought Sinister 2 was awesome. It was pretty awesome because, you got critics that are like saying, oh, it was stupid, like, it was unoriginal and I hated it, but it actually was pretty original. It had less jump scares than the original, had more likable characters than the original, and I think we saw, I don't know, we didn't see a lot of Bagul, but we didn't see a lot of Bagul in the original either. Bagul is the demon who is in the movies. That's what his name is. And so, I don't know. I personally love this movie, actually. I really love it because it was just so cool to see in the theater. And I thought, it had lots of jump scares. No, it didn't. It's just actually really had no jump scares. Really no jump scares at all. Yes, some there and there, but that was it. So, yeah, I really recommend Sinister 2. To our top picks, I would like to give out some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention, The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. So, the reason why I say this one, it was very original. And it was just as scary as the original Woman in Black. Alright. The next one is Insidious Chapter 2. Where people say it's weird, I say it was really enjoyable. Yeah, it was about that great quality of camera work, but it was still a really good story. All right, now let's round this video up with our last picks of tonight's episode. Number 6, Ouija. So I'm gonna tell you a reason why a lot of people hated this movie. One word, or actually, should I say one name? Michael Bay. A lot of people don't like Michael Bay, which I don't see the reason why. A lot of people say they don't like him because he uses lots of explosions. Well, guess what? Have you seen an action movie in all movie history? Every action movie has a lot of explosions. Alright? I'm sure there's a lot of other reasons, but the most reasons I hear from people, they're literally in every action movie that we have right now. So, I don't know what the vendetta is, but I think a lot of people should get over it. Alright, but anyway, so, a lot of people actually starting to have a cult following for this movie. And I think that's actually pretty cool. A lot of people say, oh, we don't like it because, the jump scares were weak. No, they weren't. And the story is non-original. It's so-and-so, and the ghost effects were not that great. And I say, hell, the ghost effects were awesome. So, I was actually kind of questioning to see Ouija Origin of Evil in theaters because fans of the original Ouija were saying that they took everything away that made the original Ouija a really good movie, and they kind of just went with the whole weird prequel thing and everything. So I don't know. I think Ouija Original Evil will be cool, but let's just keep our fingers crossed. But I still think Ouija should be if you haven't seen Origin of Evil yet, watch the first Ouija. I say you should it's worth another viewing. Number 6, A Christmas Horror Story. This is a movie that critics actually loved, but audiences hated it. So critics praised how it actually used original stories and actually used some original creatures we haven't seen in a while. Audiences, most notably someone I'm actually subscribed to named Nightmind, hated, where they said oh, we hated it because it was a ripoff of Trick or Treat, or because a lot of people say the stories had potential, but they just didn't work because they felt it was a ripoff of Trick or Treat. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but the company E1, they do ripoffs. All right. I mean, it wasn't even. I don't even get how it was a ripoff. I mean, did you have a guy who? Did you have a guy who looked like this, maybe more Christmas themed, going around and being every part of every story? No, there wasn't. I mean, the twist ending of the last story I loved because I'm not gonna spoil it actually, but you didn't have that. This a regular anthology film. I don't get how it's a spin-off. You might as well call every anthology film we got today a spin-off of Trick or Treat. I don't get it. I really want someone to really tell me how they thought it was a spin-off of Trick or Treat, because it's not. I mean, it's just a regular anthology film that did what every anthology film this year has done. So, this is the only thing I just didn't like was the Krampus design, which was a Yeti-looking thing. That was the only thing I didn't like about the movie. But the movie is freaking fantastic. It was awesome. I actually am surprised I didn't buy the Blu-ray yet. It's a really good film, and don't listen to the reviews like Nightmind or any other reviews you see on YouTube. Don't actually say they hate the film. Don't listen to them. Just go watch it for yourself. I recommend it. Number 7 is a bit of a tie. It's both The Purge and The Purge Anarchy. I would have included the third installment, which came out in July actually, but That one actually was getting well received by both audiences and critics. So I didn't like, you know, I didn't think that counted because no one really hated it. I mean, sure, people who didn't want to see it, but I heard like mostly everyone, just like me and my dad, liked it. So I didn't count it in this list. But I didn't count the first two films, which, I mean, the second one's kind of getting a cult following, but at the time, it got really bad reviews from both critics and audiences alike. And the original film was getting most of the bad reviews because people were saying like it wasn't disturbing enough. Like, I mean, I know people get offended because it's America and violence and everything. Oh, so what? I mean, it's hard to say that, but we got look at the world now. We have Donald Trump as president, so means I mean America's kind of going downhill. So I mean, like this movie, I don't know. It's not accurate, but I don't know. But things I liked about this movie, I guess no one actually saw, was that even though in the future, the not so distant looking future, America, has become full of psychos and everything. But there are still those few Americans who are actually still fighting against these psychos and against this thing to save their country. They believe so much that we can change America. Like, America could change again. And that's one of the things I like, is that it's mostly telling you, even if there's like this giant purge, like holiday thing where everyone can go on a killing spree, like, and like, it's mostly, you know, it's what you call it, chaos. You can still have hope in like what you believe in. If you believe in America, you can still have hope and fight for it, which I think is a really cool message these movies were sending. And yeah, I mean, I think it was cool. I think the movies are cool, and I think a lot of people should watch them a lot more. Alright, so please like this video. No, I'm just kidding. Frick that. Happy New Year, everyone. It is 12 a.m. over here, and it's officially January 1st. So, I don't know when you guys are watching this, but I want to wish you guys a very happy New Year. And, if you guys like visiting someone for New Year's and everything, have like a safe trip and all that. Have a safe trip. Be safe. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean, I know there's a lot of things I did promise, but then either I couldn't do them because I just couldn't afford the means to do these things, or I just like mostly forgot about them because either school got in the way or like chores and trips and everything. A lot of these things got in the way. Like the Dark World podcast, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it was a little bit of a rush because we're preparing for a Disney trip. At the time when I was actually planning to do this podcast, I didn't actually know we were doing a Disney trip, and then all of a sudden, we planned it. We planned it because I was planning the podcast for a long time, and I was waiting, let's do this for a Halloween like special thing for my channel. But it's the trip got in the way and to save money, so I decided I had to kind of rush it. That's why Christian wasn't like a part of it. He wasn't there, and that's why it was unofficial and everything, because I had to have it done, even though sadly it was delayed until November 1st, but I had to have it done. So I am so thankful. I might just have have 7 subscribers, but I am thankful, very thankful. At least 7 of you guys subscribe. At least 7 of you guys subscribed, and apparently, according to a lot of other YouTubers that are like all famous and everything, how they started was like with 7 or maybe even just 5 subscribers, and then through the years, the subscribers kept growing and growing and growing. So, thank you guys. I hope that this goes off and everything. And this is cool. I want to say that I'm going to try to do this new little series often. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Please like this video. Please subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time in the shadows. And again, Happy New Year. It is officially January 1st. And I'm Matthew, signing off. Goodbye. Hello guys. And remember, there's new episodes every Friday night.